We're going to hear from Greg Reimer, who's the President and CEO of Surge Battery Metals. What is Surge Battery Metals? Well, let me tell you, it's in the USA, it's in Nevada. They're developing a very high-grade lithium claystones project. So I think the timing after that presentation was pretty darn good. But a little bit about Greg. He served as an executive of one of the largest Canadian utilities and also had a lot of senior roles in British Columbia in the government, senior government. He was Executive Vice President of Transmission and Distribution for British Columbia's hydroelectricity utility, serving 4 million customers with $5.5 billion in annual revenue. Now, he's also served in government. I'm not going to keep talking about him because I think his project's pretty exciting. So give him a very, very warm welcome. Please, Greg. Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, right. Well, good afternoon. You know, at conferences like this, the thing that you really, really don't want to do is follow such a dynamic speaker as what was just before me. So I might not be the most dynamic speaker, but I got a really dynamic project and a really dynamic company that I'd like to tell you about. So here's the standard disclaimer, and you know what I've seen today with these disclaimers is they seem to get a lot longer and the font seems to get a little shorter and smaller. So there you go. So Surge Battery Metals, we are a lithium claystone deposit. We have a lithium claystone deposit in northeastern Nevada. And here's our investor highlight schedule. And what differentiates us from anyone else is the grade of our deposit. We've got the highest grade lithium claystone deposits in the United States and possibly, yet to be confirmed, the largest grade, or the largest deposit. So we recently put our mineral resource estimate out in the first part of Q1 with 4.7 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent at about 2,900 parts per million, which included about 4.7 million tons at about 3,200 parts per million. So to put that into context for you, all the other projects in Nevada in the United States range from perhaps about 800 parts per million to 1,500 parts per million. With the exception of one, Thacker Pass, which is owned by a company called Lithium Americas, which is the biggest developing mine in the United States, and they're at about 2,400 parts per million. We've got a proven lithium team. Now, one of the things in lithium, in a relative sense, lithium is a new mineral. So if I wanted to get some expertise in gold, let's say, lots of gold companies around here today, you know, I could put an ad in a newspaper or on LinkedIn or something and, you know, get 100 applications. But there's not a lot of people in the lithium business that have been there and done that. And we were fortunate enough to attract a team from Millennial Lithium, who recently sold their project to Lithium Americas in Argentina for about $500 million US. So it's great to have those guys on our team and helping us out. We've moved our project along quite quickly. We've got our first assay results from our first drill program in January 2023, and we've moved along. We've had our mineral resource estimate this year in Q1, as I said. We've made application for our exploration plan of operations, which is going to allow us to go from a 5-acre disturbance to a 250-acre disturbance next year and drill our project out. We've done a lot of met work both last year and this year, and we're focusing it more. We've developed a battery grade in excess of 99% purity just in our first pass in the met work that we're done, and or technical grade, pardon me, and we're working on battery grade right now. We expect to file a preliminary economic assessment in about November of this year. We've been working with our engineers over the last 2 months on that process, and it's going along quite well. Again, that exploration plan of operations coming up in 2024. Proven management team, I talked about that in the summary. Key to this group are Graham Harris, who's our capital markets guy, Ian Scarr, who's our technical expert, and Vijay Mehta, who is a chemical engineer. Now, lithium mining is all about mining, for sure, but it's also about, you know, lithium processing and chemical engineering. Vijay Mehta, if you want to Google him, he's a world-renowned expert in lithium processing, and we're happy to have him on our team. So just to kind of show you where our project is, that map on the far right-hand side, we're in the kind of northeast corner of Nevada. About 180 miles west of us is Lithium Americas Thacker Pass project. That project, of course, if you've paid attention to lithium over the last little while, it's got about $600 million in funding from General Motors and about $2.3 billion pending funding from the US DOE. The map on the left is our claim area, and as you can see, we've got about 13,000 acres in Elko County, and again, are moving our project forward. Did 2022-2023 drill program. The areas in blue there are the results of that drill program and kind of the area that our mineral resource estimate has taken up. So while we had an average of about 3,254 parts per million with those two programs, our overall mineral resource estimate's about 3,300. Again, mineral resource estimate came out, and that is our resource area there. Published that in Q1 of 2024. As I said, 4.7 million tons at about 2,900 parts per million. We've just completed our 2024 drill program, and you can see here in this map, we've got an 8-hole program. Results are off for assay right now, and we're waiting for those results, but the darker blue area is the area that covers our current mineral resource estimate, and the lighter blue area is the program from this year. And what you can see there, the contiguous area from the darker blue to the lighter blue, is we'll significantly expand our resource. So we've got, a lot of observations and field testing done, and what I can tell you about the current program, because we've not received and announced any drill results, but what I can tell you is that very, very similar to the drill results with the highest grade lithium in the United States that we've seen in the last 2 drill programs. Again, I talked about the grade. Our first pass, we had 99% purity, which in the business is called technical grade, and we're just going through the process now to achieve battery grade. Our view is on that, of course, is we are moving forward with kind of tried and true processes with Vijay's leadership. Although within the next couple of years, as we move through our process, we've got opportunities to improve on that. So our key catalyst for 2024, I talked to you about the metallurgical flow sheet. We're in our exploration programs now, hoping to announce results in the next month or so, and working hard on our preliminary economic assessment. Preliminary economic assessment is going to be a catalyst for us. We spent some time this afternoon with our engineers, going over net present values and IRRs and all that stuff. And, we're pretty confident in what we're going to see as a result that comes out of that. This just does a little bit of a comparison to other lithium clay deposits, mostly in the United States, with the exception of Ganfeng's project there in Mexico. And as you can see, while we are early stage, we're moving very quickly, but it's the grade, it's the grade, it's the grade. And that's what differentiates our project from any other project, including the Thacker Pass project that's been benefiting from so much government funding and OEM funding also. Inflation Reduction Act. So in my bio, they didn't talk too much about my history, but my history, I was a Deputy Minister of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources in Canada and British Columbia, and I had responsibility for energy policy and all that kind of good stuff. And so what the Biden administration has done here is taken a decision that says we don't want to be reliant on other jurisdictions, no matter who they are, for critical minerals such as lithium. And they've produced this Inflation Reduction Act, and what they're trying to do is develop a battery supply chain in the United States over the next several years. Smart policy decision from my perspective, being an ex-government guy. Not easy to do, but what they have done is provided incentive funding, starting from mining operations, such as what they're doing with Lithium Americas, all the way through the battery supply chain to credits to retail customers that are buying electric vehicles. And what we have here, and how Surge fits into that, is we are a Maiden America lithium project that'll provide lithium for EVs and other batteries in the United States when things like batteries that are supported by China or other jurisdictions that are not friendly to the United States don't qualify for funding and reimbursement of credits under the Inflation Reduction Act. Smart policy decision. Question on everybody's mind, of course, is we're in an election year. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when or if there's a change in administration? If there isn't, things will continue on. This administration will continue with what they're doing in terms of supporting the Inflation Reduction Act and developing, the battery supply chain in the United States. I've talked to a lot of people. I've been to DC a lot. I've been into government and around government for a long time. Kind of the view that I have and the view that most people have, and you can tell with pronouncements that Mr. Trump has made over time, he's going to focus on putting significant tariffs on China so that he can keep things in America competitive and develop things in America. And the only analogy that I have is when the Cold War was going on, we're all old enough to be and remember the Cold War. It didn't matter who was in office, whether it was a Democratic president or a Republican president. They just didn't like Russia. And I think what we've got now, it doesn't matter who's in office, whether it's a Democratic president or a Russian president, they just don't like China. And so we think we're in a good spot to capitalize on that. Here's some statistics about supply and demand in terms of lithium and electric vehicles. The lithium market's been tough the last year. We've gone from a high and we're down into a low, and I was heartened by Rick's comments this morning when he said, you got to hang on to your investments for 5 years, and at some point, even when they're down 50%, you got to hang on to them because you'll get that 10-bagger. He was talking about the 10-baggers that he has. Well, our stock went from around 20 cents Canadian to $1.50 Canadian, and we're hovering around 40 to 50 cents right now. And so, we're one of those stocks that he's talked about that there's a potential 10-bagger here, but we're in a bit of a problem situation given the overall market right now. There's a lot of noise in the business in terms of what's happening with EV demand. Is it going down, all that kind of stuff? Well, it's not. Year over year, EV sales are increasing. While they may have been projected to increase by 70%, and they're only increasing by 35%, but they're still increasing. So, we're pretty comfortable and pretty happy with what we're doing. Our view, of course, is we're just going to continue on and develop our project. We've got enough money to bring us through into 2025, and as the market continues to evolve and information comes out in terms of supply of lithium and EV sales, that we'll be prepared to kind of continue on to that 10-bagger that Rick talked about. ESG is something, of course, that's been talked a lot about with mining companies over time, and we are early stages exploration company, but nonetheless we're committed to the environment, to the social part. We've already started to talk with the local tribes and talk to the communities and whatnot. So we're a good community partner, and we look forward to kind of partnering with the community further and building our project as we go ahead. Here are some of the organizations that cover us. SCP has been with us for a couple of years. They've been the first organization, and one of the reasons why we're here that's covered us. Roth has covered us. Cormark, Haywood, you can see them all there. Share structure, all important to investors. I mean, the bottom line right now is we're about a $65 million market cap company. We see ourselves as the best lithium asset in the United States. We're comparable to Thacker Pass, who is currently a $1 billion market cap company, was a $4 billion market cap company. They've suffered the same as us on the share price. So, yeah, that's Surge Battery Metals, and that's our Nevada North Lithium project. Thank you very much.